Jag here, and it's time once again for your favorite pro wrestling opinion show, Jags Jabs. Now today, the Jag is jabbing at AEW fans yet again. Why? I'll tell you why. Now see, AEW made the announcement that they have sold over 100,000 tickets to all of their live events for 2019 headed into 2020. Some of those tickets are pre-sales for 2020 events, which is fantastic. Let me say this. I appreciate AEW. I appreciate the guys that are leading the charge over there, from Cody to the Young Bucks to Kenny Omega. These guys are doing some amazing things, and they should be extremely proud of selling 100,000 tickets in their first year. Now, let me get that out of the way. I appreciate and admire AEW for a lot of the things that they're doing. I don't always agree with some of the action going on in the ring. I don't always agree with some of the promotion. And I just about never agree with these AEW stans. Notice I didn't say fan, I said stan. Stans are the stalker type fans that just can't seem to treat wrestling with any kind of respect. You see, there are fans of wrestling, and then there are fans of wrestlers. Okay, now some wrestling fans, like myself, want to see wrestling succeed. We want to see good wrestling. And even though I'm not a fan of a lot of AEW's in-ring action, if and when AEW comes back to Southern California, the Jag will be in attendance because I am a fan of wrestling. That means I can see the value in both AEW, WWE, Impact, Beyond, Bar, CZW, you name it, the Jag is going to watch it, and I'm going to give my opinion. I'm going to be fair and honest, which is something that you can't say about most AEW fans. AEW fans, when posted that that AEW hit over 100,000 ticket sales, started to promote and talk about the demise of the WWE. Some people retweeted it. Some people commented. Some people had negative things to say about AEW is going to put the WWE out of business. Now here's the other problem with AEW stans. AEW fans like to always bring up the WWE. Prime example, this morning, maybe it was yesterday, I'm not sure, I just saw it this morning. WWE says that they're going to start NXT with the championship match between Adam Cole, baby, and Finn Balor commercial free. To which AEW responds, we're going to start with whatever match they're starting with, and it will also be commercial free. As always, I guess it's my understanding that the first match at AEW is always commercial free. Well, that's great, AEW. Here's the thing. Newton's law says that for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. And it feels like AEW is doing a whole hell of a lot of reacting rather than acting. I would like to see AEW become more proactive rather than reactive, but here we are where WWE says one thing and AEW has to respond with something similar or something that they think is better. And of course the AEW stans come out to say how WWE sucks and they're going out of business, which we both know is not going to happen. And so today, at the risk of upsetting some of the AEW creators, some of the AEW higher ups, Mr. Khan and the rest of you, I don't want to be a jerk and steal your shine or rain on your parade, but I wanted to point out why selling 100,000 tickets in 2019 and for some events heading into 2020 is not a reason to celebrate. This is just the Jag being honest and offering some perspective, because AEW stans need to be reeled in just a little bit because the excitement is a little too much, and I can't allow hypocritical, ridiculous, egotistical crap to stand. So the Jag is going to bring a little bit of perspective to you clowns. Let me explain something. And of course, I'm looking at my spreadsheet here because the Jag took a few minutes to create an Excel spreadsheet so I can explain exactly what the hell I mean. First, let's talk about AEW pay-per-view. The first one, Double or Nothing, in Paradise, Nevada. The MGM Grand Garden Arena holds 16,800 people. The capacity is 16,800 seats. Ocean Center, Daytona Beach, Florida, 9,312, so on and so forth. The pay-per-view alone, the pay-per-view venues alone, that means Double or Nothing, Fyter Fest, Fight for the Fallen, All Out, and Full Gear. Just those 5 events alone had a seating capacity of 56,830 seats. That's more than half of the 100,000 that they are currently celebrating. Now let's talk about Dynamite. If you look at AEW Dynamite for the past 11 weeks, We went from Washington, D.C. to last week in Garland, Texas. Each one of those venues holds a different number of seats. For example, Ocean One Arena in Washington, D.C. holds 20,356 seats. Whereas if you look at Indiana Farmers Coliseum in Indianapolis, holds just 6,800. However, if you look at the total capacity of the seats available for AEW Dynamite, the total number of seats available was 123,267 seats. What does that mean? That means that the grand total between the pay-per-view and Dynamite is over 180,000 seats. As a matter of fact, it's exactly 180,097 seats total were available for sale. That means that 80,000 seats were left unsold. That means that AEW has sold just barely half of the available seats for all of the events. If you take into account all of the events they've had this year, only half have been sold. Now, is that still a great accomplishment? Yes, it is. Why does the Jag say it's an accomplishment? Because, hey, if there was Jaguar Pro Wrestling and I sold 100,000 seats this year, you damn right I'd be doing a dance and posting it and celebrating and having a party. However, given some perspective, looking and saying, dang, I only sold half of my seats, that's still a good day. Don't get me wrong, they're doing good business, but you only sold half. So I'm posting this because I want you clowns, you AEW stans, you ridiculous freaking morons who keep saying that AEW is going to put the WWE out of business. I want you to keep in perspective that they only sold half of the tickets that are available, and the Jags not even talking about the seats that are available in 2020. I'm only talking about 2019 so far, to this day, up to this point, which today is what? December 17th. Up to December 17th, they have sold 100,000 tickets. However, there were 180,000 available. Let me ask you this, AEW stans, if the WWE celebrated selling 100,000 seats and they actually had for sale 180,000, you would be touting their demise and how they're on their deathbeds and how AEW's almost killed them dead like Raid kills roaches or whatever. You guys would be all up in arms talking about how bad and how terrible the WWE is doing, but when AEW sells 100,000 seats out of 180,000, it's cause for a parade. So look, again, the Jag doesn't want to hate on AEW. I just watched Santana and Ortiz's interview with Mr. Chris Van Vliet. That was a fantastic interview. I actually loved and enjoyed hearing about how different their lives are now that they sign with AEW, as far as the time they get with their families, as far as rest and how they feel with their bodies. That is a blessing, and I appreciate what AEW is doing for the talent and what they're doing for the business in general. However, these fans in this day and age where it's just fun to hate on things, where it's exciting or cool to be a negative jerk off on social media. These guys are just talking so much trash on WWE, and yes, some of the trash is deserved, but to say that they're going out of business is just ludicrous. Just to give you clowns some perspective, WrestleMania this year, the attendance was 82,265 fans. That's almost the entirety of what AEW has sold for the year. That's going to do it for Jags Jabs today. Let me know how you feel in the comments. If you agree, hashtag let the Jag know. If you disagree, hashtag prove the Jag wrong. Either way, you can follow us at MakeMeAFan316 on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You can always follow the Jag at AKA the Jag. See you tomorrow.